Yo, what's going on, everybody? Trent's Tech here. Today, I'm going to walk you through the settings of my S22 Ultra to basically show you how you can save more battery life and pretty much apply these battery tips. Now, generally, when you get your phone, it's kind of set up already to kind of save a little bit of battery, but if you want to push it a little bit further, if you want to tweak a couple more things, go ahead and stay tuned and we'll talk about everything. So pretty much the first thing that you can do is you can go into settings, and the first option that we have are connections. Now, the easiest way to save battery life is to make sure that you are on a Wi-Fi connection. And the reason why that is because if you are on LTE, 5G, or any sort of cellular connection, a lot of times the phone will use more battery power to help try and improve that connection or try and keep that connection going. Whereas on Wi-Fi, it's usually a stronger signal and the phone really doesn't require that much battery. So if you have the ability to, make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi, make sure you got multiple Wi-Fi networks turned or pretty much programmed into your phone and turned on. That way you're not sitting there constantly searching for a cell signal or a data signal. Now, the other thing that you can look at here is same thing, Wi-Fi calling. Wi-Fi calling, having that turned on is going to help you use less battery because you're not going to be using your cell signal, and that's pretty much going to help out with that. Now, the other thing that we have here is Bluetooth. If you're someone that doesn't use Bluetooth or Bluetooth accessories, I would just keep Bluetooth turned off. And the reason why is because with the Bluetooth turned on, it's constantly using power in the background to try and detect other Bluetooth devices. If you're somebody that uses Bluetooth all the time and you need to have your Bluetooth devices, then fine, you can, leave it on. But if you're somebody that really does not use Bluetooth accessories at all, this is something that you can go ahead and turn off. Once again, you have NFC and contactless payments. This really isn't going to make the hugest deal on earth, but if you're somebody that's not using NFC, if you're not using the payment method or whatever, you can pretty much turn that off. That way you don't toggle it and the phone's looking for an NFC reader or anything like that. So that's something else you could turn off if you absolutely don't use NFC whatsoever. Now, airplane mode is pretty much going to be like one of the biggest battery savers, but it's going to pretty much kill your connection to anything Wi-Fi, data related, even phone calls. So obviously you can turn on airplane mode to essentially, be on an airplane and be in compliance with everything. But also you could turn on airplane mode if you just wanted to use your phone as a mobile device and you never planned on using the phone as far as making calls or anything like that anyway. But that's a little ridiculous, but that's just something that we have to throw out there. Now, if we go under mobile networks and we go to network mode, this is where we have the options for 5G, LTE, 3G, 2G, etc. Now we have three options here. We have 5G auto connect, LTE auto connect, LTE with 3G auto connect, and 2G only. The easiest way to kind of save battery, in my opinion, is just to go ahead and choose LTE, 3G, and 2G. For a lot of people that are in the US, and this is a US based video, there's not a real strong 5G presence everywhere. It's getting better over time, but for a lot of people, using 5G can cause a significant drain on your battery. So I would definitely switch it to LTE. That way your phone is not constantly searching for 5G and trying to maintain a connection to 5G when you really don't need it. Honestly, I've used 5G before. I really don't see the difference between 5G and LTE or 4G and 5G. Pretty much the only thing I've seen is speed tests where like, hey, this is faster. But most people, you're going to be fine with 4G and LTE. So if we go back here and we go to sounds and vibrations, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to vibration intensity. And this is going to give me a menu that I can either turn up the vibration intensity or turn down the vibration intensity. Obviously, if you turn up the vibration intensity, you're going to use more battery over time, as opposed to if you turn the vibration intensity down, you're going to use less battery over time. Now, the problem with turning the vibration down is if you are somebody that relies on those haptics and those notifications, it's going to be weaker. You're not going to feel it, as much as you would with the intensity up. But this is essentially a battery saving video. So I would turn those down, or at least turn those to halfway, to help save on some of the power that you're going to use if it comes down to using the vibration. Now, the other thing that you can do here is you can kind of play around with some of the other options in here, where you can turn vibration effects on or off for different things, and that'll help with the battery. But these are just like, little small tips that help out here and there. Now, the other thing that you can do here is you can go into display, and you can change your display from light mode to dark mode. Essentially, when you turn on dark mode on your phone and you have a screen like you have on the S22 Ultra, having dark mode on, anything that's black is basically a pixel that's not turned on. It doesn't have power going to it. So the more black that you have on your screen, the more battery that you can save. Same thing with your wallpapers. If you're somebody that likes to use video wallpapers, that's going to take up more battery. So I would make sure I'm not using video wallpapers, and I would use a black or darker background so there's less pixels turned on. But that's pretty much where you can go here to turn on dark mode. Also, your brightness. Now, I am not the best at this as far as keeping my brightness low. I usually like to keep my brightness up a little bit higher. But for those of you who do want to save battery, make sure you just go ahead and take your brightness and bring it down to about 50%. You can also have adaptive brightness on. That way, the phone will turn up the brightness as you need it, as you enter different environments. So, if the environment's a little bit darker, the display will drop down, as opposed to if you go outside and it's really sunny, the display should kick up and go a little bit higher. But usually, as long as you're within this little blue window right here, you should be fine. It's when you start to get into this red window that it's really starting to kick up the nits and really starting to kick up the brightness, and that can really chew into your battery. So we're going to go ahead and move down a little bit more. The next option that we have here is motion smoothness. Now, motion smoothness is your 1 to 120 hertz refresh rate. And basically what that's going to do is if your screen is still or it's not doing anything, it's going to kick the refresh rate down to 1 hertz. If you are scrolling or doing anything, beyond that, it's going to kick up to 120 hertz to make everything seem more smooth. Now, Samsung basically is telling us here that if we choose the standard mode instead of the adaptive mode, it will lock it to 60 hertz, and that you could save more battery over time than using the variable refresh rate. So definitely, if you want to save more battery, hit the standard and go with the 60 hertz. I'm going to keep it at adaptive because I just like the adaptive better. Now, the other thing that you can do here is you can come down to your screen resolution. And this is pretty much another place where you can really save a lot of battery. So you have 3 options. You have HD plus, you have full HD, and you have WQ HD. Now, if you go with WQ HD, this is going to use the most amount of battery, but it's going to give you the highest resolution and the best screen quality. So if you care about screen quality, then you can turn it all the way up, but it's going to have an impact on the battery. If you don't care about screen quality at all, you absolutely want to maximize your battery life, make sure you just go and hit HD plus, and your phone should be able to last a little bit longer throughout the day. Or the best of both worlds, and this is how your phone comes out of the box by default, is FHD. It's not the greatest quality, but it's not the worst quality, and it's pretty much a good, middle of the road as far as it comes to using the battery. Now, if we come back here and we scroll down some more, we have our screen timeout options. Now, obviously, if you want to, let's say, constantly use your phone and you don't want to have to keep unlocking your phone, you're going to change your screen timeout. So your screen timeout is going to kick in after 30 seconds, and that's basically just going to turn off the screen and lock your phone. The more you turn this up, the more the screen is going to be on. and the more battery that you're going to be using. If you want to save more battery, you could turn it down to 15 seconds, or, honestly, 30 seconds is good, but turning it down to 15 seconds would be a way to maximize how much battery you're using by, having the screen off as much as possible. So this will probably affect your whole, screen on time as well if you increase this, but this is just, another way that you can save battery on your S22 Ultra. And pretty much if we come down here, you do have the option for a screensaver. Honestly, I would leave it at none, because the more the screen is on, the more it's animating and doing stuff, the more power that you are using. So if we come back, the other thing that we can go ahead and take a look at here is we can go under location. Now, sometimes location is good to have because your apps can, use your location, and basically it's more accurate and helps out with the apps doing certain things. However, if you have a bunch of apps that are constantly using your location, that's constantly using battery on the phone itself. So if you wanted to, you could turn the location off, or essentially turn the location off every time you open up an app. You can select the option that says only use this location once. Don't constantly use this location in the background. And once again, that is another way to save battery. And honestly, that is pretty much it as far as most of the stuff that I use, as far as battery life, battery care, and all that stuff. You do have another option down here where it actually does say battery device and battery care. So if you click on here, it's actually going to do a quick scan of your phone, and it's going to give you basically a readout of what the phone thinks is your battery right now, or as far as what's being used. So it'll tell you exactly how much you could basically get out of your battery if you don't use it, pretty much. No one's getting 23 hours and 34 minutes out of their phone unless they start using it, or if they just let it sit there. But it also tells you how much battery life is available, tells you your storage, and it tells you your memory. Now, easy way to kind of do some of this stuff is to hit optimize now. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to close all the apps that are running in the background, and that's going to help save some battery. And pretty much you can kind of just leave it there. Most people that I notice, they never really close all their apps, but if you're somebody that does, or if you have an app that's using a lot of power, you can go ahead and close that too. This is just the option that I just wanted to show you guys. And honestly, that's pretty much it. That's really it for the video. It's not exactly the most exciting thing on earth, but that is pretty much what you can do to help save the battery life that's on your phone, and possibly get another hour or two out of the phone. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you guys have any other tips that I didn't mention or that I missed? Just let me know, and hopefully I can probably squeeze those in another video. And apologize, it's early in the morning trying to, get these videos out because my life is a madhouse right now. So, all right, y'all, take it easy. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.